Hey, what's good, yo? Welcome back to another video. It's Anish. I'm joined with Drew, and today we're going to be doing some Deshaun Watson mock trades. And yes, it's been a while since we've touched on this topic. It seems like there hasn't been any news. It's been pretty quiet on this whole legal situation front. Maybe they're reaching a settlement soon. Who knows? And there is a potential possibility that Deshaun Watson could be the Texans' Week 1 starter. But I thought Deshaun Watson was going to get traded like soon after June 1st. But now it's June 13th and he still hasn't been traded. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. But we'll still explore possible trade destinations that Deshaun Watson could be dealt to. And first one being Miami Dolphins. I think this has been one of the front runners since the beginning of like this whole saga, and a potential package I think different from what we've been hearing would be 3 firsts, 2 seconds, Jalen Phillips, who they drafted this year, and Wilkins. So what do you think about this package?
I think that's a really solid package, and it's really kind of what we've been looking for. The Texans have been looking for multiple first-round picks, multiple couple second-round picks included in there, and they also really want two defensive starters because they kind of want to be able to build a scheme on the offensive front. But they really need an infusion of youth and talent on that defense. I feel like getting Jalen Phillips fills kind of a spot for the future for the edge position. He'd definitely be there for a while. And Christian Wilkins would fit right in. We desperately need a defensive tackle, with that being a 1 tech or 3 tech. Not sure exactly where they would put Wilkins, but I think he'd be a definite starter. I think the Dolphins are also a team that should make this trade because they're really a quarterback away from making it to a Super Bowl possibly. And Deshaun Watson is exactly the kind of guy that you want to do that with. Sure, Wilkins would be kind of a loss. But Phillips hasn't even played a snap, so I guess not really losing much there. The team would be a little older, getting rid of those players. But I still think they have a great culture in Miami, a winning culture. They had a winning record. I think it was either 10-6 or 11-5 last season. They played really well, and they'd be even more exciting. And they would still have all those weapons that they have on offense with Waddle, Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, Mike Gesicki, Myles Gaskin, all those guys. Deshaun Watson would be happy to be there. One would think he would be happy to be there. And the Texans would be getting a lot in return.
Yeah, I really like this package, and they get to keep Xavier Howard too, who is one of the best corners in the league. So I think this is a good trade for both of the teams, and we get 2 players on rookie contracts as well. So we have some good flexibility there. So I really like that trade package. And so the next one we're going to be talking about is one with Denver. Ian Rappaport said that Denver is an option for Deshaun Watson. But he also goes on to say that Denver, he doesn't believe Denver is where he wants to be, just one possible spot. But who knows if how much Deshaun Watson does have that no trade clause where he kind of gets to choose where he wants to go. But at this point, I think in his situation, he just wants to get out of here. So anywhere he has a good chance of winning, he'll probably go. But that's just speculation on my end. But anyways, a potential package that Denver could offer us would be 3 firsts, Patrick Surtain, and Bradley Chubb. So what do you think about this one?
I think it's very similar to what you saw from the Dolphins, but that's exactly what we want. We get Patrick Surtain, who would be the cornerback of the future for the next 10 years. Bradley Chubb, another great edge player who could be a perfect fit in a 4-3 where he can move around from right end, left end, just rush every single play. I feel like he'd really enjoy that. And then we get the picks that we want. We need those picks to build this roster. And the Broncos are very similar to the Dolphins. They had a lot of hype last season, but Drew Lock didn't really pan out. He got injured a couple of times. They suffered more injuries. Von Miller's going to be coming back next season. Hopefully he's got a couple more years left in the tank. I feel like this team, the Broncos, will make a really big run with Deshaun Watson. They still have all those weapons on offense, a lot like the Dolphins did. It's going to be really exciting. I think that they also should be desperate to make this trade. Maybe they lower the value recently because of Deshaun Watson's allegations, but otherwise I think this package is really good, really solid for both teams. One team gets a superstar quarterback, the other team gets a lot of value on defense and a lot of value in the future.
Yeah, and Denver has Jerry Judy, like you said, weapons. Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, like very explosive offense. If they were to add Deshaun Watson, I think they're also another team that's kind of a quarterback away in a sense. And imagine like 2 times a year where you get to see Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes. I think that's also really interesting. And but yeah, I really like this, and it seems pretty interesting to me that the Broncos passed up on Fields to draft Surtain. I think that was one of the most intriguing parts of the draft, and I know they're in contention for Aaron Rodgers as well, who would be cheaper than Deshaun Watson. It really depends how much of a time frame of contention they really want, and if they're willing to pay for it. You know, Deshaun Watson, you have at least 10 more years, well, probably more than that, for contention. Whereas Aaron Rodgers, who knows how much he has left in the tank? He did win MVP last season, so probably a decent amount. So, but yeah, I think Denver's. I really like that trade package too, where you get really good defensive starters from that. And next is going to be the Washington football team. I think this is one of like the dark horses in landing Deshaun Watson, but I think they have some nice pieces that they could offer us. Potential package would be 3 firsts, 2 seconds, Montez Sweat, and Jamin Davis, who they drafted this year in the first round. So what do you think about this one?
I'd say dark horse is a very big understatement here. Their defense is absolutely stacked. I know we mentioned Jamin Davis and Montez Sweat, but they could get rid of a couple other players on that team. They got Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Kendall Fuller, and that defense is absolutely insane right now. Probably going to be your number one defense in the NFL this next season if they don't make that trade and lose those defensive pieces, but they can survive. They have weapons on offense. Again, like we mentioned with the other 2 teams, they have Curtis Samuel, they have Terry McLaurin, they have Antonio Gibson, a guy who I love, a great running back out of Memphis. But that offense would be humming with Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I feel like they have the ability to move those picks, move those players, give them to the Texans. Texans get what they want. Once again, we're keying in on those 2 defensive players. Montez Sweat would be an absolute beast. He showed a lot of flashes last season. He really grew, really got better at rushing the passer. And then you got Jamin Davis, who a lot of people actually compared to Zach Cunningham. He came out of Kentucky, a very athletic linebacker, someone who in a 4-3 could really play any of those 3 linebacker positions. He's really talented. I would absolutely love to have him on the roster. Really sad that he got picked in the first round. We couldn't take him earlier in the draft. But Jamin Davis, Montez Sweat, and those picks would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I really like those 2 players. And then another potential team that Deshaun Watson could be traded to is the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they've expressed interest in Deshaun Watson. I don't know if that interest is still there, but I think this one would just be mostly pick-based. The players that they could offer aren't the most appealing either. They're on pretty like some veterans. They have a lot of veterans on that team, and they could offer Jalen Hurts, but I don't think we take him because we drafted Mills. I feel like the reason why we drafted Mills is because the Texans didn't really have an interest in any of the quarterbacks that other teams could offer. But anyways, a potential trade package would be 3 firsts and 2 seconds from the Eagles. So what do you think about that?
I think the Eagles are a team that could be really, really desperate to get Deshaun Watson. There's not much hope around that team. They're kind of in the bottom of the NFC East. Don't really know where they're going to go. You got the Cowboys, you got the Giants, got the Washington football team that all really have talented rosters. Eagles are just at the bottom right now. And their ownership has not showed much confidence in their quarterback situation. Jalen has kind of been pushed aside, really, even though he is much better than any quarterback on the roster currently. But so they could get really desperate with those picks that they have. I think that those picks is a great start. And certainly we should look into that, but I feel like maybe that's not the best offer out of all the teams. But the Eagles could go even higher with that. They are not a quarterback away like all these other teams that we talked about so far. But Deshaun Watson, as we've seen through his 4 years as a Houston Texan, he does not give up. He keeps your teams in games. He can carry the team for the entire season, and he'll put up fantastic numbers. I feel like the Eagles kind of just have to make a move there. They have to make a big move to get a star quarterback to kind of change the future of that franchise.
Yeah, and I think the Eagles' picks would be kind of relatively high. Like, I mean, Deshaun Watson, as good as he is, he wasn't able to. There's like our team was only able to win 4 games, and obviously none were really a fault of his own. Our defense was just absolutely terrible. So like, but like the Eagles aren't that much better. I mean, even in a terrible division, they weren't able to like win it. I think so. That was kind of bad on them. So I mean, I guess I don't know if Deshaun Watson would even want to go there. But yeah, it's kind of intriguing. I think their picks would be good for us though. Like in order of the draft. So I think that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll see about that. And then the Lions, I think no one really expected this team, but I think it could be one of another dark horse team that could land Deshaun Watson. They could give 3 firsts, 2 seconds, Okuda and Penei Sewell. So what do you think about this trade?
I mean, the first thing I look at is those picks because I don't expect the Lions to necessarily be that good, even with Deshaun Watson on their roster. I feel like the Texans and the Lions are at the pit bottom. Maybe with the Eagles just having the worst rosters in the NFL. And if you take away Kuda, if you take away Penei Sewell, that'd be fantastic for us. I'm not so sure that'd be so great for the Lions. They would be in depth, but I don't know how they can just say we're comfortable with Jared Goff and then would believe that he's going to win all these games. They don't even have a number one receiver on their roster at this point. They need to build this team out, but I feel like the Lions are definitely a big dark horse, and they feel like they really are not comfortable with Jared Goff. They can make a move, get Deshaun Watson. And on the Texans side, Akuda, just a fantastic player coming out of the draft, one of the best corners we've seen, really coming out of Ohio State, another one of those like Marcus Lattimore types. The guy's great in any coverage, really physical guy, great ball skills, and he'd be the number one corner of the future. Really, he's very young still. And then Penei Sewell, a generational left tackle. Not sure exactly how that works out with Howard and Tunsil, but I mean, how can you pass up on Penei Sewell? I'm sure Penei Sewell can also move around. Titus Howard can move around. We talked about in our previous videos. And we also talked about how Tunsil could be traded. And they can kind of build this team off of that. Obviously, Sewell's a little younger than Tunsil, so that's not such a big deal because you have your future left tackle and he was with Sewell. So the Texans will have a lot of ways they can move around, salary cap wise, player wise, and kind of build the team with those picks. I expect them to be very low. Lions also have 2 first round picks this next coming year because of the trade for Matthew Stafford. They will have 2022 first round picks. And I'm sure they could move some more of those later picks in there too if they want to, because you know, I'm not sure how attractive that trade will be. But otherwise, I think that for both sides, it may be necessary for the Lions, and it's also a great offer for the Texans that they really should look into as they go those 2 generational pieces and players and a lot of picks.
Yeah, and Okuda didn't really pan out for the Lions so far, but I guess a change of scenery could be beneficial for him. And like you said, his fit, like Penei Sewell's fit with the Texans, Marcus Cannon isn't going to be a long-term option for us. And I think I saw that Sewell was really training both sides, right tackle and left tackle. So if Titus is comfortable with moving to right guard or left guard or something like that, then maybe Sewell could be our potential future right tackle. I think I really like that trade, but I really doubt the Lions would do that. Just concerning, I don't know, it just seems like it's very unlikely. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts on these trade packages, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.